Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Udur Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. Let me tell you something, people of the internet. I've always struggled with food. For the last, let's say, 10 years, I was suffering from an ailment called plantar fasciitis. So it's basically pain underneath your soles or on the heel. And it was really, really bothering me to the point where at some point I wasn't able to walk properly. So I went to Italy for an operation, non-invasive. And one of the things that the doctor told me is that this thing is going to be very difficult to deal with. And one of the things that you must do is to reduce your weight on that heel. And that means that I had to start figuring out how to reduce my weight. When I came back to Kenya, there was no other way but to have a strong conversation with how I eat and what I eat, you know. And for the last 10 years, I have been battling with food. What do I eat? What do I not eat? And, you know, long story short, it has been a difficult uphill journey. And I know that a lot of you might be having a problem with weight because I meet a lot of people every day that are telling me that they are fasting intermittently, they are eating 1 meal a day, they are doing this and that. And a lot of people are telling me they are not going anywhere with it. So let's talk to Dr. Daniel Katambo. Somebody who knows, I said somebody who knows about teaspoons. You know, and how are you, Dr.
I'm fine, thank you for having me.
You have a beautiful book, but before we talk about this book is scary, by the way, and but affordable.
Yes,
3,950.
Yes.
You are Dr. Daniel Katambo.
Yes.
MBCH.
Yes, that is Bachelor's of Surgery, Medicine and Surgery. That's
Yeah.
undergraduate
At
degree.
the University of Nairobi.
Yes.
And then MPH.
Yes, at the University of Nairobi.
What
also.
does that mean?
Masters in Public Health.
Okay.
Yes.
And then this interesting one, MRCP, London,
Yes.
UK.
Yes, member of the Royal College of Physicians. Yes.
And then you are local practitioner.
Yeah.
You're CEO and founder of Afia Code,
Yes.
Research and Program Director, Kenya Diabetes Management and Information Center.
Yes.
Congratulations. You've done a lot of schooling,
Thank you.
you know, and one of the things that I really feel confident with when I sit with somebody who has gone to school and studied what they're talking about. Sometimes I talk with people who know a lot, but they don't have the academics to back it up, you know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kitabu cha sukari,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So I was telling you that before, we are going to be talking about this book. But first of all, we have been having a big problem with people that want to reduce their weight.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they fail.
Yeah.
I cannot remember. My sister has struggled with weight. My friends have struggled with weight. You know, the other day, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. You know, I saw him, he's so built up, you know, alikuwa amefura tu hivi. But the guy is telling me that he's eating once a day. And I'm like, doesn't look like you're eating once a day. Or whatever you are eating once a day is not helping you.
Yeah.
What is the reason why a lot of people struggle with weight?
I think, thank you. And once again, thank you for having me. I think the concept of what makes people gain weight is what has been lost in our society. So much so that you find so many myths out there regarding weight and weight loss. And that's actually one of the reasons that made me put to pen this particular book. So I graduated in 2006 from the University of Nairobi, and then I was posted different places. But I worked at St. Mary's Mission Hospital. And at that point, I was in charge of chronic disease department. That's where you see patients with diabetes, hypertension, and of course, weight problems. And at the time, I used to think that we suffer from diabetes, hypertension, because as a country, we are poor. We do not have the best drugs. We do not have the best research institutions. We do not have the best doctors. Our hospitals are not equipped. We do not have enough doctors. So, and that was a comfortable position that I took. And therefore, we are not going to manage these conditions until we are able to fulfill some of those factors that I've talked about. In 2012, 2013, I got an opportunity to work in a small island called Bermuda. Now, this changed a lot in terms of now having come from a third world to a first world. They're quite rich. Their GDP is quite high. And at this point, again, it was like God-driven, where now I, again, started seeing patients who have chronic diseases. Actually, that is a majority of diseases. And what was it? Diabetes, hypertension, obesity. But I wondered to myself, I thought it's because we don't have money. I thought it's because we don't have enough doctors. I thought it's because we don't have enough research or resources. I thought it's because we don't have the best drug in the market. And therefore, this kept on, like, why is it a problem in the middle income or low income countries? And it's also a major issue in the first world countries. There must be something that these two countries are not, these two, populations are not getting right. And therefore, we, as an African society, we cannot adopt what the Western world is doing because they have not yet gotten it right also. But at around 2016, 2017, as you ponder, I met a guy who wrote the foreword for this book, and he was Dr. David Cavan, an endocrinologist from the UK. He had just written a book called How to Reverse Your Diabetes. And I was like, what do you mean? This condition can never be reversed. The way we learned about it, you get it, you start medication, and then I remember, to cut the long story short, he had the book. I took the book on Friday, and on Monday I returned it to him, and I told him I'm finished and I want to practice whatever is in that book. And we hit the road. It was one-on-one, but it was amazing. The same people I was seeing, the same people I was doing prescriptions on insulin. I was doing prescriptions on maybe 5, 10 drugs, because you can find somebody on many drugs. Now I was doing the opposite. Now I was actually eliminating the drugs. I was eliminating insulin. I was eliminating newer drugs like SGLT2, but I was doing just because of telling them about food.
Yeah.
That is when I was like, this is the answer. That is when I started reading a lot about nutrition and how nutrition plays a bigger role in what we do. And therefore, this is where now I answer your question. Sorry, it took
yes, I like the backgrounding. I love the backgrounding. Yeah.
Where now, what causes weight gain? In your own opinion, what really causes somebody to gain weight?
After I started reading about it, I realized it's food.
Yeah. And therefore, if you want to deal with weight, what is the first thing you will deal with first?
Your portions.
Food.
Yes.
Before you go to how you will deal with the food, it is the food, right?
Yes.
But when you tell somebody, I want you to change your lifestyle and I want you to lose weight, what's the first thing they tell you they are going to do? To the gym.
To the gym.
I will increase my physical activity.
Yeah.
But that was not your problem. Your main issue was the food. Now, I'll take you back a little bit. Now, most of us are gotten to the urbanization, modernization. We have slowed down and we are eating more. Yeah. And the foods we are eating more are those ones that are converted into sugar. There's a reason why I'm sticking to the sugar bit. Now, whenever you have sugar in your body, the body produces an hormone called insulin. All right? So if you bring this amount of sugar, the pancreas produces this amount of insulin. Now, insulin asks itself, what is Jangero doing? Is he just seated? Or is he running? If he's running, take this sugar and give it to him so he runs and uses everything. So it comes down and we all both come down. So we are okay. But at around 4 p.m., what do you do again? Sugar again, insulin goes up, but now you're seated. So where does it go? Insulin converts sugar. I want to repeat this. Insulin converts sugar to weight. It converts that sugar into weight. This weight is what people call fat.
Yeah.
All right. And unfortunately, it starts from inside you. It starts to convert that first bit of weight goes to your liver. So it's not uncommon when somebody is suffering from weight, right? They also have a fatty liver. The liver is big. All right. And then it goes on and goes into the visceral organs. Such like a good example is ukichinja mbuzi.
Yes.
Ukichinja mbuzi mnono unaona nini?
Mafuta kila mahali.
Hey. That is the same thing. There is no difference. When you see somebody who is big, tukimuchinja, okay, I'm sorry to use this big word.
Yes.
But that's exactly what we see.
Yes.
Because it starts from inside, and then saa 10, saa jioni, tunakula tu, when sugar, unaleta sukari, insulin inapack. Inaweka kwa liver, inaweka kwa momentum, inamaliza, inakuja under the skin. The skin, under the skin kwa abdomen is the most elastic one. Inaweka hapo, inaweka hapo, inaweka hapo, inaweka hapo, na unazidi kusema mimi niko na kazi mzuri and I'm eating well and I'm respected in the society.
Repeat that again. Unasema nini?
And you buy a V8.
Yenye inakutosha.
Ukishuka hivi. So unknown to you that the more you keep doing that, you know, now you're adding weight. And this process doesn't happen within 1 year. It is a continuous process. And I tell people, soon after university, that is when we start. Yeah, umemaliza university, you get school. I mean, unapata kazi mzuri, unaoa ama unaolewa, pata watoto. Yani, everything just starts to increase. Now what happens? Unaanza kukula asubuhi, saa 4, saa 7, saa 10, na saa za jioni. All right. So now you keep gaining weight. Now, if I go back to the place where you are gaining weight because of insulin, remember you are bringing in sugar, you're producing insulin, you're bringing in sugar, you're producing insulin. Mpaka kale ka tank kanaja. Na tank ni ile mwili yako sasa. Unaona? Ile mwili inafika mahali inasema sasa this pancreas has been producing insulin for a very long time for you, trying to keep up. This thing is like 70 grams. Kanafika mahali kanakwambia, I am tired. I have helped you for so long, right? And it doesn't seem like all this sugar that is in kitambi, huku na mikono for ladies and even men when they gain weight is not helping. So this thing, now when the sugar comes, kamechoka, no more enough insulin. So aka produce insulin. So now what happens? There is no match. So the sugar goes up. And that's when we diagnose you with diabetes. That is how it checks in. So now they
Sounds very simple.
Yeah, it is actually simple. It's not hard. It is simple.
But repeat that again. How we come to diabetes?
So remember I was saying, with time we consume a lot of foods that are more converted into sugar. These are the carbohydrates and the fruits and those foods. So when you bring in sugar, the body through the pancreas produces insulin in equal mind to try and bring this sugar in. Ni kama ukuwe na gari na haina mafuta, it is useless. So when the sugar comes in, you have to produce insulin for you to utilize it. All right?
Yes.
Now, insulin takes the sugar and either gives it to you, to your muscles, to use it kama unakimbia. Lakini kama hufanyi hivyo, what happens? It stores it for you.
Yes.
And converts that sugar into weight. So the weight you are carrying is equals to sugar. So if you are 90 and you're supposed to be 70, you're having 20 kilograms of sugar. This is how you want to view it.
Okay.
All right. Now, you can imagine a tank that has been getting water, aitoki. At some point, what happens? The tank gets full, and then it will overflow. Now, that is the simplest way. But the way the body acts is that when the sugar comes in, insulin goes up. Then, sukari inateremka chini. But in this case, this organ, for some reason, kanachoka.
Which organ is this?
The pancreas.
The pancreas.
Yes. So instead of producing equal amount of, you now brought in sugar at this level, the pancreas is unable to produce any more enough insulin.
Okay.
All right? Now, the sugar is higher than the amount of the insulin that is produced. And therefore, now we diagnose you with diabetes.
Oh, yeah?
That's how diabetes checks in.
Wow.
And it's all driven by one person called sugar. And hence, why the origin of the word kitabu cha sukari.
Kitabu cha sukari, telling you what? So let's go back to your book. It's called Kitabu cha Sukari,
Yes.
a photographic guide to weight loss,
Yes.
pre-diabetes, and diabetes management. Let's go back. Explain to us what this book is about, and then we can go back to our discussion.
So the book, you see, now when I came back into the country in 2019, I started a diabetes reversal program, what I was doing in Bermuda, to try and, because the concept of diabetes reversal was not popular in Kenya. And I remember when I was being trained on diabetes and how lifestyle, the first week I said, this is what we need in Africa. So when I came back, at least in Bermuda, we had some resources. I could, come on in macaroni or rice or the various books. There is another book that is called Carbs and Curls, that you could get some resources that I could use to advise patients. But I come to Kenya, I'm trying to tell somebody, now, food can be categorized into three things. One, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, all right? Now, carbohydrates include fruits. Don't forget fruits are carbohydrates. And then they also include what? Starches.
We just know carbohydrates, fruits are fruits. No, they don't fall in
They
any
fall
category.
there. They fall there. And the sugar, they are in the same categories with sugars there.
Yeah.
So you see, and then there is this notion of this one has a better glycemic index. I'm sure you've had such things.
Yes.
Glycemic index, glycemic load. This one is this is complex carbohydrates. This is not complex. But let me tell you what happens when now the rubber meets the road. You get somebody who is living with diabetes, and then they tell you, daktari, niliamka na sukari poa. Niliamka na sukari. My sugar was not high. It was the normal sugar is supposed to be 4 to around 7. That's reasonably a very good sugar level. So aliamka akapima sukari ilikuwa 6.8 ama 6.2.
Unapimaje sukari, daktari?
There's a gadget called a glucometer.
That you buy and
Yes.
domestic equipment.
Yeah, it's a domestic, not kwa pharmacy. You just check your sugar, right? And then anakuja kwa clinics at around 10 or 11, right? And the sugar is 15. So what do you think has happened? They woke up with sugars of 6.8, but they are coming to your clinic at around 10 or 11, having eaten the foods that they've been told they are good. Those ones were ndoma, sweet potatoes, ama brown ugali, ama brown rice. They show up, their sugar is 15, ama 14, and they have taken medications. So where did that sugar come from? Did it come from because you're using drugs? No. That sugar came from food. We must agree.
Yeah.
So therefore...
It reflects that fast?
Sorry?
It reflects that fast?
Yes. Within 32 hours, sugar is there.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Remember, by the time you are eating your chapo or your ugali, within the mate has something that is already digesting it. Ikifika kwa tumbo inafanya chiming, where you are mixing things like this. 15 to 20 minutes, sukari imeenda juu. Kama umekula kitu yenye iko na sukari. So by 2 hours, we are able to see and know what is happening. Now, I wondered what was the best way of me telling people, in as much as these things are having these things you are calling fiber, they have vitamins, they have minerals, they have phosphorus, you need to be aware that I'm also telling you that they have what? Sugar. That is a fundamental thing that was missing. It was a fundamental resource that was missing. So that when I'm telling you ndizi, like a banana, which a sizable banana, if I come to sell to you a banana, I will tell you a banana is good because it has potassium, right? It has maybe zinc, it has other things. But rarely am I going to tell you, get this banana because it has almost 90% sugar. Have you ever been told something like that? Exactly. That is why this book was born. So that on top of those other things, people need to be aware that this sugar this insulin that is make you gain weight can come a lot of it from fruits and the carbohydrates, including the complex carbohydrates. Yes.
We are going to be talking about the people that want to reduce their weight, and just normal people that want to keep their weight at optimum. Now, because then I don't want to be in a situation whereby my diabetes is being reversed, correct?
Yes.
I should be in a situation whereby my body is at that equilibrium that it needs, the optimum. You know, I need my pancreas to be working, and it's not feeling overworked.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yes.
So how do you achieve that? For example, in your book, I see a lot of teaspoons.
Yeah.
You know, like this thing that we are being sold at Carrefour, or is it called Carrefour?
Yeah.
That is very beautiful looking, a bowl of fruits.
Yeah.
Turns out it is 12 teaspoons.
Yeah.
You see?
Yes.
You eat, What page is that? Page 118.
Yes.
You already know where it is.
I'm the author of the book.
You see, so if I took that in the morning, claiming that I want to take fruit that is very healthy in the morning, I am already having 12 teaspoons.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And perhaps that's just as healthy as I want it to be.
Yeah.
Then or probably I do that after taking tea.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I do that after taking 2 pieces of brown bread.
Yes.
And that is another 7 teaspoons.
Yes.
So if I have taken fruits in the morning and at 10, I am taking 2 pieces of that is 7 teaspoons plus 12. That
19.
is 19.
Yeah.
We are on 20. Then lunchtime.
Yes.
Then lunchtime. We should go to lunch. Which page should I go to find lunches?
Go to page 195, pilau.
This is interesting.
195.
We go to page 195 and do just food ya Mluya. Pilau ya Mluya ni kama 200 grams.
Yeah.
Ama 2300 ya Mluya.
Okay.
Mluya asili inaweza kuwa Mluya ya town. Okay. Then we go and get 16 teaspoons.
Yes.
Plus 19, that is 35
yes.
teaspoons.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then we get a glass of juice to wipe it down. Kuteremsha everything.
Yes.
Which page are we going to?
We go to, I don't know which one you want to go, 61?
61. Let's just go
to... take fresh juice. I don't know which one you want to take.
Yes. Let's go with mango. A lot of people love mango.
Mango juice.
We have
65.
got... Yes.
Yeah.
We have got... let's just go with the bare minimum.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would go for the 250 ml.
Yes.
Which is 7. Which is what?
About 8.
8.
Yes.
So that is 43.
Yes, 43 now.
43 teaspoons.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Wacha tukunywe kachai.
Yeah. Tukunywe kachai kidogo.
Tukunywe kachai saa ngapi? Saa 10.
Yeah, there is 73. Go to 73.
73 tukunywe chai.
There is white tea plus,
white tea,
the last one there.
Yes.
73, yeah.
Yes. We were at 43 and now we are adding 5.
Yeah.
So that means we are at
48. Yes.
48 teaspoons.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are not taking the tea alone. Wacha tuchukue na biscuit. Which page are we going to?
Go to, I don't know which biscuit you will take, but
let us do the digestive. Let's go healthy. Let's go healthy.
Okay. Healthy. The one that has, they write 0 sugars.
Yes.
Okay.
Digestive biscuits, I think it is page 150.
Yeah, 150, yes.
Wacha tu tuchukue mbili tu.
Okay.
Sindio? Saa 10.
Yes.
That is 5.
Yeah, that's
teaspoons.
5
Okay, that's if we are at 53.
Yes.
53 teaspoons in a day.
Yes.
Okay.
Bado hatujakula sapa.
Tuende nyumbani. Tuende nyumbani sindio?
Yes.
Nataka tujaribu ugali na ile ya Dr. Zivi. Meat.
Yes.
Meat is 0, sindio?
Yeah, meat
is
depending
0.
on how you cook it, most of it.
Yeah, but most of it is 0. So we just go to ugali, sindio?
Yeah, go to page
ugali tukufu.
Yeah, go to page 207.
207 ugali tukufu.
Yeah. Which one? Do you want to eat brown or white?
No, hatukuli town hatukulangi hiyo ya brown. Wacha
Right.
tuende tu na hizo slices mbili, si ndio?
Yes.
Then we pack some 12 teaspoons.
12 teaspoons.
Yeah? We
Yes.
were at 53.
Yes.
Hiyo ni ngapi sasa? 65.
65.
The question sasa.
Yes.
Okay, wacha tukunywe kabia.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Kakulala.
Wacha tukunywe bia.
Kabia uko page 76.
Page 76.
Taskalaga.
Oh my God. Taskalaga.
76.
Taskalaga
Yeah.
is page 76.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Lager, that will be around 4.
Taskalaga.
Yeah. Page
Yes.
76.
4.
Yeah.
We were at 50.
60. What? 65.
Now we are at 65.
69. Yeah.
Then we come back to your question
Yeah.
that in a day we need to be having.
Around 10 to 15.
Oh my God.
Now you can see what I was talking about. Where now that excess goes. That is where the weight is. Yes. And this is where we get it wrong.
So we have shot our sugars by 50.
Yes. And
Right?
according and according to my small survey, I've seen I haven't done thorough research on it. Maybe that's where I will go next. We are consuming about 60 to 90 teaspoons of sugar per day.
Wow.
Yeah. Around there.
And every day the pancreas is trying to
Match that.
do the work.
To do the work to make sure that that sugar is not harming you and you store it. Now you can imagine how much physical activity do you need to do to outdo.
hata uende gym the whole day bro. Hata
Now
we-
you see why.
yeah.
And that's why even concepts like intermittent fasting, they're meant, yes, now you are not eating the meal 3 times, but when you sit down and eat, unakula ugali ya muluya. So
Yes.
you don't do much.
Una pack 40 teaspoons
Yeah.
in
one meal.
In one meal.
Yeah. So yes, you will see some drop because you are at 80, then you have dropped to 40, 30, 40.
Yeah.
So you will see if you are 90 kilos, you will drop to around 82 or 83. And that's it. And then the moment you stop or relax that fasting, the weight comes back.
Because the problem of intermittent fasting is well documented, but we are going to talk about it. What I want to talk about is how scary what you're talking about is to a normal human being. And what I hear people saying is that it is impossible for me to tell me to go about eating 15 teaspoons a day of sugar. Now, the question is, because I believe that dialogues like this, we should be able to give people
Specifics.
yeah, tell them that this is how you are going to
do it.
to do the 15.
Yeah.
Because what I have realized, Daktari, with the issue of food is that food is addictive.
Yes.
And most of the foods that we take are very addictive.
Yeah.
Na hii kitu inaitwa tumbo inasikianga njaa sana.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
And this tumbo is connected to our brain, our
Yeah.
neurons and
Yeah.
what and what.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it is just too complicated for normal humans.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
easier to say it and write it in a book
Yeah.
like you've done. And I'm here, there are people who have got the mental capacity to abide by this book and go and do it.
Yeah.
There are people who are going to say, okay, I have failed and I'm feeling bad about it,
Yeah.
but let me sit down and eat the chocolate. Nifikirie maisha vile itaenda. So,
Yeah.
kabisa wilingine vingine. How do you start?
Yeah.
We are going to talk about people who are trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that are having the biggest problem.
Yes.
Now, there are people who are not trying to lose weight, but at that juncture, around the corner,
Yeah.
diabetes is waiting for you.
Exactly.
And you know that it is almost always
Yeah.
a given that when you reach that place, you're going to be. So those are the people that need the 10 to 15. How do they do this?
I think the most important thing is to create awareness, first of all. We come from a very ignorant point of view. All right. For example, I will take. I know you have said food is addictive. Let me just take that bit. Food is addictive. Have you ever heard somebody being addicted to sukuma wiki?
I don't know.
I feel like I want to eat sukuma wiki. Have you ever felt somebody talk like that?
No.
or nataka nimemiss spinach. Have you ever heard somebody say nimemiss spinach ama nimemiss cabbage? Have you ever heard? No. Even have you, apart from the fact that somebody can say I love meat, most of the time it's never an addiction. It is the fact that you just love. You just like meat. But let me tell you, the thing that people get addicted to is the sugar. Actually, we talk about sugar addiction as opposed to food addiction. 99% of people who will say I'm addicted to something, it will be a carbohydrate related. One, you will hear somebody say, ametoka gym and I need a particular kick from a particular food chain. And that is exactly what they want.
Yes.
Or
Salt and caramel cake.
Exactly. From
you know. I've never been employed. But I'm not saying that because I am proud of it. I've never been employed, but what I have always done is to do a lot of jobs online. I have been working with the clients in America, in Europe, anywhere around the world. I've used freelancer.com, I've used Fiverr, I've used anything that you can think about online. And in 2024, people are asking, how can I get an extra shilling, to plug the holes in my budget? Well, I want to tell you that over the last 3 years, I've been writing a book that I've called The Gold Mine. These are the kind of side hustle that you can do on the side to give you money. I cover in this book a wide range of options to suit your interests and skills. So in this book, there is step-by-step instructions, learning exactly how to get started with each side hustle, from setting up your business to finding clients and making your first sale. In this book also, I share with you expert tips and tricks, and I'll give you real-life case studies, see how others have used these side hustles to achieve financial freedom and create a life they love. So you are going also to learn how to start a freelance writing business and learn high-paying clients, how to create and sell your own digital products such as ebooks and online courses, how to build a profitable affiliate marketing business, how to leverage social media to grow your brand and attract your clients, and much more. So thank you very much. Back to the program.
Why? Or mimi siwezi kulala bila ugali. I cannot sleep without githeri. I cannot sleep if you come from coast. I cannot sleep without rice or biryani or something. I have to take dates. Why? People are addicted to sugar. And this is driven by insulin. You remember that thing I was explaining? Sugar, insulin. Insulin is the hormone of addiction. As long as it's up, it wants to stay up there. So when it is produced, right, when the pancreas produces insulin and and the sugar falls up a little bit, when the sugar is coming down, it tells you, no, give me more. So you want to eat more and more, like more of the sugar. So we tend to be addicted more to sugar as opposed to the other types of food. That said, when you look at the three components or macronutrients of our society, we have food can be divided into three portions. 1, carbohydrates, 2, proteins, and 3, fats. Okay? Now, carbohydrates is anything like a fruit, sugar itself, complex sugars, or whatever it's called, starch. It is here. Proteins are kina eggs, kina nyama, white, red, white or red, or whichever type of meat that you're talking about. And then the fats. The fats are, the avocados, the butter, kina, those ones, them. And nyama ya mafuta, nyama na kuku na ngozi yake. All right? Now, this is very important so that we understand the basis of what you want as an individual. Because remember, this is an individual-driven thing. Like what you will eat is not what I want to achieve. You want muscle. Somebody else would want, to gain weight. Do you know there are people who don't want to lose weight? Them, when their BMI is 35, they are comfortable. There is somebody who doesn't want to be 35, they want to be. This is the basic principle I was talking about. Now, when you consume a lot of carbohydrates, which the society has done, Unaamka asubuhi ni starch. In fact, now if I tell you, in the morning, think about a breakfast without carbohydrates, you will go blank. Then saa 4 unaenda ofisi ni mandazi, sweet potatoes, ndomas and all those things. Saa 7 ni pilau, ni ugali, ni rice. Saa 10 ni rice, kuna anniversary ya mtu, keki imekuja, kuna birthday ya mtu, keki imekuja. Usiku ni ugali, kuna chapati, kuna rice. You know, this is what we do the most. And that is what is causing us to gain weight. So if you wanted to gain weight, then consume this in good amounts. And that's where we are. Have you seen kids in malls? Kids in malls, how do they compare to the kids a decade ago? They are bigger. Why? Because they are not playing, number one. Number two, what are they doing? Ankula pasta, spaghetti, and terrific Tuesdays, and burgers. And they're not doing much. So they gain weight. All right? Now, when you look at that carbohydrate, you look at protein, when you go to the gym, when those guys are lifting those things, what do they say? They eat, they get even protein shakes, they eat meat, so that they gain what? Muscle. So if you are in that category, then move in that category, and that's what we will give you. But there is something called fat. And I will say healthy fats, because healthy fats is supposed to support these two to make it sweet. I'll give you an example. If I give you boiled meat and I give you fried meat, which one is sweet?
Fried.
Why? Because of fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them I've just added fat, right? Okay, I give you boiled viazi or I give you chips.
Chips.
Why?
Because of the fat.
Yeah, I give you boiled sukuma wiki or I give you fried sukuma wiki.
Fried.
Yeah, so fat makes food sweet. And it also makes you full. For example, eat nyama choma. Why is it that I can tell you, eat nyama choma right now, unaniambia nataka hiyo nyama choma. But ukifika hapo, hata utamaliza kilo. And then how often can you eat nyama choma?
No, not so much.
Not
so
but you
often.
can eat ugali every day because of the insulin. So therefore, people struggle because of lack of knowledge. And this is why I want to thank you for such platforms, because you're able to educate somebody on what do you want as an individual. Now you can imagine if you are now living with diabetes. Now take a person living with diabetes. And then as you can see here, how much sugar did we calculate? Around
65.
Around 65. You tell me, your body cannot process sugar. And then you wake up and you eat sweet potatoes that will give you about 15 teaspoons of sugar, because you were told to eat complex carbohydrates. You're told to eat complex carbohydrates.
Even though tuliambiwa bwana.
That is what we were told, right? So this guy's sugar.
As a side note, why do they call it complex?
It is complex because this is how you figure it out. Sugar are simple sugars. I mean, molecules.
Yes.
So sugar is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, you can count. They are not connected.
Oh yeah.
That is sugar. And the way they are connected, it could be sucrose, fructose, galactose. They could be different. The way they are arranged in molecular, the way they are arranged, that is just simple. You don't need digestion. You don't need anything. It's that simple. But now, if you take the sugar...
You don't need to digest sugar.
No, hiyo inaendanga tu ikienda. Digest tena ienda wapi. It is the simplest thing that you can ever get.
Yes.
But now, when you take like the sugar itself, and then you connect number 1 to 8, 8 to 2, 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you form doma. And then when you connect another way, you would form bread. When you and the more you compact it, the more complex it becomes. That is now a complex carbohydrate from a simple sugar.
Oh, I see. And why do people think it is better?
Because it takes longer for the body to digest it into simple sugars, as opposed to this one. So if I give you juice,
yes,
that is sugar. So that one will be digested, and within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sukari iko juu. But if I give you ndoma, it might take you about 20 to 30 minutes for the sugar to go up.
Well, what is the difference whether if it takes if it is done in 20-30 minutes or if it goes immediately? What is the difference? It is still at the end of the day.
Yes.
It is sugar.
And that's why this came into being, so that we
Are you then saying that that the idea of eating complex carbohydrates is nonsense?
It's not nonsense. It depends on what you want to achieve.
I am saying it's nonsense because if you take juice, then shoop, you have it in 10 minutes.
It goes
but
up.
if you have carbohydrates,
It
you
takes
have
some time to go up. To go up, but it takes some time.
And what is so good about
You
it
will
taking
still-
time?
Nothing good about it.
And that's why I'm saying it's nonsense. That's why I'm saying it's nonsense. Because for me, when they talked about complex carbohydrate and that it is good for you, I was thinking that it is good in another way. But now I realize that it's just the time it takes.
It's just the time, most of the time, how much time is it taking to be digested? How much sugar content is in it? Because you could find something like Ndoma. On top of it having sugar, it also has fiber in between. So you could have, it's complex and it has fiber. You get?
Yeah.
So it might not spike that big spike. It will give you a more of a normal curve, spike, but it will still spike your sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me just finish this before you ask the next question, because I wanted to mention, if you remember, the carbohydrates, the healthy proteins, and the healthy fats.
Yes.
Now, which of these three do you require to exist? I will ask this in a very layman language, but there is a scientific way we call it. Which one can we eliminate and we still live up to 100 years?
Say that again. We have there.
We have carbohydrates,
Yes.
we have proteins, and we have fats. Which one can we eliminate and we still live up to 100 years?
I think it is carbohydrates.
Thank you.
Why though?
Because the body can make sugar from proteins and can make sugar from fats in a process called gluconeogenesis. So
Okay.
you can actually live without that. That's science. That's pure science, right? But what is our problem? What causes obesity?
Sugar.
What causes diabetes?
Sugar.
That means we have taken something too much that we actually the body doesn't need. Now, for the listeners, I'm not saying you eliminate carbohydrates, but I'm just trying to show you, according to science, there is what we call essential macronutrients and non-essential macronutrients. Meaning, none means if you don't take it, nothing happens to you. You actually don't even need to supplement it. Right? Mm-hmm. And those ones that are called essential, you will actually need to supplement them to eat. And those are the proteins and the fats. Meaning the body can make sugar from fats and proteins. So if you don't eat fruits, I'm not saying you go cold, but if you don't eat fruits, then you are still okay.
How about vegetables?
Now, what are vegetables?
Fiber.
In these three categories, where does vegetables fall?
See, vegetable is protein, right?
Huh?
No. Vegetable is no. Say the three again. It's the carbohydrates, the proteins, and the fats.
And
the fats. Vegetables are fats.
No.
What are they?
Yes.
No, but they get fats from they get copper oil is gotten from sunflower.
This is where I have to be very careful with the audience and say yes, most vegetables are actually carbohydrates. But this is where the big but is. Now, when you look at the spectrum for carbohydrates, we have the ones that are purely sugar and the ones that are almost purely fiber.
Yeah.
On the classification spectrum. So now vegetables become good in that spectrum. That's why now we say, if you remove the carbohydrates, now I tend to, for ease of communication, I usually say we have 4. So I say carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and vegetables. So now we can eliminate this and do with this.
Carbohydrates.
Does that make sense? No. Vegetables, fats, and proteins.
And do away with carbohydrates.
Yes. That's possible.
Why are having vegetables? And you said that there are also carbohydrates.
Because these ones are not digested, and they also give you the minerals, the vitamins, the zinc, the whatever, those vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin whatever you are looking for. Ziko hapo kwa vegetables.
Ziko kwa vegetables.
Yes. So for example, if I give you andizi, I said it will give you, for example, andizi will give you
Zinc.
potassium, zinc, or whatever it is. But it also gives you about 95% sugar. But if I give you sukuma wiki, it only gives you 5% sugar, and the rest is fiber, vitamins, minerals. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is the difference. So vegetables, in fact, vegetables anytime. Those micronutrients that people talk about, zimejaa kwa vegetables.
What are some of the best vegetables to eat? The vegetables that are very rich in nutrients and minerals. The ones that we eat in Kenya.
Yeah.
And in Africa mostly. Which ones are they?
In fact, we are so blessed. Remember, I said I began by saying where I was working in Bermuda. I'm telling you, getting those things that people call chakula ya rabbit is hard, and you miss it. I remember I used to go to shoppings, and you just miss that homemade sukuma wiki. So, yes, all vegetable, especially the African vegetables, that kakienyeji, that kakunde, that spinach, that cabbage, that kazera, that morianda, there are many.
Yeah.
They are so rich in minerals, vitamins, phosphorus, calcium, vitamin B1, B2. Anytime you feel hungry, sit down and eat a plate full of vegetables, and you will not go wrong. And you will not gain weight.
You did not answer my question, though. Approximate number of teaspoons in a day is about 15.
Around 10 to 15.
How do we measure it?
No. This is science. I keep telling people, how much did we say we are eating? About 60, let's
60.
say. I just want you to go by a third. Let's come to 20. So
Yeah.
how can we do that? Can we go back to the book?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Let's wake up.
You're the one who is leading this one now.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's now in the morning go to page. This one is much easier. Let's go to page. Let's go to page. Which one? 261.
261. We are starting in the morning.
Yes.
Okay.
Starting in the morning.
261.
261.
261. We are starting in the morning. Okay. There we go.
Yes. Image number 2.
Image number 2.
It has what?
Image number 2 has avocado,
Spinach, baby spinach, and 2 eggs.
And 2 eggs.
How much sugar is it?
I wanted to break this program and tell you that sometimes you're wondering, these beautiful videos that Jagero is doing on his podcast, what does he do when he's not doing podcasts? So what we do is to make videos for our clients. We make documentaries, we make podcasts for other clients, we shoot photography, we cover events, we cover conferences, and we do a lot more. We have every equipment that you need to make videos for yourself. So if you want to reach out to us to make videos for you, you can go to coremedia.co.ke and you can contact me, or you can just contact us with the email that we're going to leave at the end of this video. So thank you very much. Back to the program.
We are now doing lunch.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So so now we are at what?
We are
at one. All right?
Uh-huh.
Now we are eating lunch.
Yes.
Now let's do the second image.
The second image.
What is it?
Boda hii haifanyi.
What is it?
It's beautiful, but it's lacking ugali. It's lacking ugali on the side. It's a huge tilapia fish
With
whatever with sukuma wiki on the side.
And it has how much?
2.
So tuko ngapi?
3.
All right.
Wacha tuweke ka ugali kidogo. Hebu tuende kwa ugali.
Let's go to ugali. In the same scenario.
Tuende kwa ugali, bro.
Yeah, we are
Don't
going
make
there.
this impossible for lawyers.
Okay. I'm actually looking for the same with some ugali on top. I think I have the last few pages.
There is ugali on top.
Yeah, I have.
Tuende tu kwa ugali tuchukue ile ugali ndogo.
Chukua ile ugali ndogo.
Yes, kuna ugali ndogo sijui ni ku page gani.
Kako page okay, for the ugali ndogo enda page. Go to page 207.
207.
Yes.
Yes. Kuna ka ugali hapo. 207.
Yes.
Yes.
So tuko wapi? 207 unataka brown ama white?
Well, let's just go with the 6.
We go with the 6.
Yes.
Yeah,
We go to with the 6 with the small one.
The small one.
Yes, so that we are
now,
6.
So you have increased my meal. We were at 3.
We were at 3.
Now you have gone to
8.
Okay.
22.
Right.
We want something that is going to be agreeable. Agreeable.
No, I was just showing you an example of some meals that you can actually do and you're actually okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I know that, but I want it to be agreeable.
Yes.
Mtu atakuwa utamwekea ugali mjaluo mwekea ugali that big tilapia na skuma na umwambie sasa wewe chakula yako iko tayari.
Ndio hiyo iko tayari. Kula hiyo.
Surely. Wacha tumwekee hiyo ya 60 spoons, si ndio?
Sawa. Sasa tuko 8 eh?
Tuko 8.
Haya, twende.
So it's you to go on now.
Yeah. So tuseme saa 10 maybe we want to eat something like what do you want to eat? Some nuts or something?
Yes.
Okay, let's
eat
go
nuts.
to page macadamia. Let's go to 274.
274.
Yeah, nakachai.
The people are going to buy this book, I am telling you. 274, sindio?
Yes.
274,
Yeah.
yes.
Macadamia nuts iko na ngapi?
0. This is perfect.
All right. Jioni tunasema tunakunywa chai. Twende chai.
Tunakunywa chai na hii macadamia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So tuweke chai hapo na chai ilikuwa na 4. Unakumbuka?
Yes, so we
sasa
just
tuko
add
ngapi?
it.
12.
Tuko 12.
Si ndio?
Yes.
Fair enough.
We go to supper.
We go to supper.
Yes.
Now, supper, I will take you straight to where do you want to go? 265.
265.
Yes.
Okay, 265 niko hapo.
Kuna nini hapo?
Kuna ka mince meat na cabbages.
Unataka kula size gani?
The
bigger one. 600 grams.
Wacha tukule
600 grams. The biggest.
Yes.
Si ndio iko na ngapi?
Kuna 3.
Aha. So tulikuwa 12 ama tulikuwa wapi?
Tulikuwa 12.
Plus 3?
14.
14. Kunywa maji na tulale.
This thing is workable.
Yeah, it is workable. It is the notion that you need.
And I'm going to ask you a very important question based on our program of the day.
Yes.
We are better than somebody doing intermittent fasting.
If you do that.
Because, for example, let's go to the ugali.
Yes.
And see what an intermittent person is eating.
Oh, yes.
Ile ugali.
So, kwanza tuseme anafanya 16-8 ama anafanya gani?
Intermittent ni watu wa once a day.
Inategemea watu wengi wa intermittent fasting do 16-8 where you fast for 16 hours then you eat within 8 hours. That's the most common one. Once a day is a very few people.
Intermittent fasting is that long?
Yes. People,
okay. We are going to be let's talk about that one and then now discuss intermittent fasting.
Ama tuende tu basi once a day and then let's go to page let's say amemaliza fast na amesema guy munipe hiyo chakula sasa.
Guy munipe hiyo chakula sasa.
So let's go to 281.
Oh my God. 281. You need the tail end of the book, eh?
Yeah, 281. Uko hapo?
Yes.
Si anasikia njaa sana.
Sana.
Akule hiyo chakula ya mwisho 799 grams.
Wow. Achape 44 teaspoons. Hii ashibi after 16. Hii ushibi after 16. Tumpatie huyu jamaa ka drink.
Tumpe ka drink.
Tumpatie juice.
Juice.
Lale nayo.
Tumpe gadi.
Juice jiko wapi?
Juice ziko hapa. I don't know which one you want to pick. But tuseme soda basi.
Yes.
Tuseme
soda watachukua. Intermittent people will not do soda.
Watasema hiyo si mzuri. So turudi kwa juice basi page 66.
Page 66.
Yeah.
Page 66 akunywe hiyo ya tamarind. It's very healthy. 250 ml. Achape teaspoons karibu 15. shida tukufu. Ili shida. Let's I'm not sure if you are the specialist to talk about this, but I have always maintained that intermittent fasting is not, for me, I feel like it is not a normal way of living. Because if you're living in a society that eats most of the time, then intermittent fasting wouldn't work for you. So, for example, you can go to 3 events in a day and you won't be able to eat, just with people eating.
Yeah.
And I've always maintained that if you'd rather go into portions rather than do intermittent.
Yeah.
But now today, I think I'm going to rephrase my statement and talk about looking at your teaspoons.
Yeah.
You know?
So, you see, what you need to make a difference here is we are very different. You've just changed today because of information that you have.
Yeah.
All right? So, it's not that intermittent fasting. In fact, our ancestors in 1930s, 1940s to 1900s were doing intermittent fasting without their knowledge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
You look at even the way Maasais live or the way the people in the good interiors live. You have one meal and then you take another 48 hours or even another 28 hours without another meal. That is how we are. I think we are actually meant to live eating less and putting a lot of time in looking for more food. We are supposed to be sort of like, I don't want to use this so that I offend anyone, but I think our environment, we have advanced so much to the point that now this, exactly what you talked about in terms of environment, it's what people have normalized. But that environment that you talked about where people are eating most, that is where the diabetes is. That is where the obesity is. That is where the blood pressure is. That is where the cardiovascular diseases are. That is what the diabetogenic environment is. And that's why we need to withdraw.
What?
An environment of diabetes and obesity and diseases. That is where people have normalized it. That is where people think that it is okay. It is not. So you started by saying, in an environment where people are eating,
Yes.
that environment is the problem in the first case. Right? So when somebody tries to do intermittent fasting, they're actually trying to pull themselves from that environment. But remember, it's only you who is trying to do it. And then I'm seated with you here, asubuhi, saa 4, saa 7, saa 10, jioni, you are eating. Na mimi nilikuja job pamoja na wewe, and I'm trying to eat maybe 2 meals a day. So at some point, utaniambia, we kula bwana. You know, so, yes. So you pull me again to there. But this 1 meal or 2 meals a day is exactly what human beings need to do. Otherwise, if you look at it from what I was talking about, the obesity and diabetes is like you're in quotes, and I want to be very in quotes here. It's like your body cannot deal with sugar because it has been trying to deal with it for a very long time and it couldn't. Yes.
We are going to go back to your book and how to find it, because I feel like a lot of people are going to learn from it.
Yes.
One of the things I've seen is that you must have a weighing machine for your food.
Not really.
You don't need to?
No. I think it's for information purpose. What we didn't, like for example, do you know that people imagine that meat causes weight gain? Is that true or false? In fact, you are told if you want to lose weight, wachana na nyama.
Even walisema,
Yes.
I came to read about it and realize that it has 0 teaspoons.
Exactly. So I think for me, the reason why the book I sat down to write it was to provide information. Not the fact that you really need to weigh food. No. Like, for example, now that you know andizi or a mango, like a good let me take you to the go to page 97.
Page 97. There we go.
What do you see there?
A lot of teaspoons.
Yes, and you see a mango.
Yeah.
A mangoes right now are in season.
Yeah.
Right? That's why
If
I
you
went to
eat
that
one,
page.
you pack 16 teaspoons.
Exactly. Now that I'm not saying you go and start weighing that mango. No. I'm just now telling you, yes, I'm giving you vitamins, I'm giving you phosphorus, I'm giving you all the micronutrients in the mango, but I'm also giving you a lot of sugar that will make you, if you want to lose weight, then you might want to stay away from that fruit that will give you a lot of sugars.
Let's talk about some of the questions that some people sent me on, when they heard that I'm going to talk to a nutritionist. How can I drink more water? Apparently, water is boring to drink.
Because, and I will tell you why water has become boring. It's because everything else that we tend to drink, we tend to flavor it.
Yes.
Right? Everything we tend to eat, you flavor it. And that flavoring, so that now again, when you try to pull yourself to the normal water, it is tasteless. So therefore, people are making money from, have you seen those flavored waters? Flavored sijui maji strawberry,
Yes.
sijui lemonade, sijui flavored nini?
Yeah.
Because that is giving you flavor.
Giving you the sugars.
The sugars. You want to take juice. Once the body gets to taste sugars, you try. If you tell somebody to take chai enye ina sukari na mwenye amezoea 3 teaspoons of sugar in chai, they will not finish if it's without anything.
Yes.
Why? Yes.
So how do I eat? Why do I take more water at once?
I think for me, the message here is stay away from sugar. And that will really retest your buds. You retrain your buds back to the normal. Yes.
What should my macros be? I don't know what this question actually means.
Macros.
Macros.
Means macros.
I don't know whether it is.
That is a bit...
I also don't know.
macros. Yeah. No, not macros.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I need to eat breakfast?
Very good question. No, you don't. If you don't feel like you can, you don't need to eat breakfast.
I think the question is coming from the fact that this person is hungry in the morning and people are telling him not to eat breakfast. We must read more than what the question is asking. You know, so that somebody is asking, must I take breakfast? Is not wants to take breakfast. Really wrong. Yeah.
I think any meal you skip, even better for you. Remember, I started by telling when we were discussing with you, human beings, and I don't want again to scare anyone, but we were meant to eat 1 meal a day. So now you can imagine if you are coming in and you have been taking 5 to 6 meals a day. So whatever meal you are comfortable at skipping, please skip it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do I need to cut out any foods that you know of? Any foods that I don't need in my life?
Most of the time we need, depending on what you're looking at, cut out the carbs most of the time. Cut out the carbs.
And that is ugali,
Yes.
chapati.
Yes,
Oh
rice.
my God, people are not happy. Somebody talked about intermittent fasting.
Yes.
Is it a good thing? You answered it already. Cindy?
Yes.
How do I find a trusted dietitian?
Wow. I guess many dietitians and nutritionists are there.
Yeah.
All I can say is that there is a lot of research that has been put into nutrition. Actually, what this book encompasses, if you look at the first few pages, I've demystified what I was taught in school. That you need to eat carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are energy-giving foods, which is true, but you do not need them, as I was telling you. So this is actually based on current research. So depending on what you want to actually envision and have, yes, we have nutritionists that are well qualified to advise you on exactly what you want to achieve.
The last question is, what are the place of supplements in our diet?
Oh, wow. Very good question.
Yeah.
Do you want my honest opinion as a...
Yes.
We do not need supplements.
Yeah.
Unless you've come, we've checked, and you're deficient of some minerals, then we supplement it. Are you deficient of zinc? Then we supplement it. Are you deficient of vitamin 1, 2, 3? Then we supplement it. Otherwise, you do not need to supplement anything. Yes.
Thank you very much, Daktari, for this wonderful and eye-opening discussion.
Yes.
You know, and I want us to talk about your book, how much it is,
Yes.
where it can be bought,
Yes.
and also where you do your practice so that people can look for you.
Yes. So the book is 3,500. You can get it in my website. That is afiacode.com. You can get it there. And you also get the payment method there. And once you pay, we have put...
The payment method is M-Pesa?
Yes, it's M-Pesa pay bill number. Once you pay, somebody will call you from our offices, and they will get in touch with you. And then we are able to deliver or organize delivery. We can either use a motorcycle around Nairobi, or we can always ship it to you through the matatus or the buses or wherever you are within the country. So I have a practice that is located in Fortis Upper Hill, that is near Kenyatta National Hospital, and it's in 3rd floor, room 309.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. What are the services that you offer there?
Yeah. So I offer several. Remember, I'm a consultant physician.
Yes.
Who has done a lot of many courses on nutrition, because remember my story.
Yes.
I realized nilisoma, then nikafika mahali nikaona dawa ni kitu mzuri, yes, and I actually prescribe drugs like any other person, but when you major on lifestyle, I saw bigger changes there. So I'm a general consultant physician, so I deal with especially prevention of diabetes, obesity, polycystic ovarian syndrome, polycystic kidney disease, fatty liver, cholesterol issues, and generally weight. I love those ones. Yes.
Okay. So people of the internet, thank you very much for tuning in to my conversation with Dr. Daniel Katambo. And he has got an amazing book. I would say very interesting book called Kitabu Cha Sukari. What would be the translation? Because I have a lot of listeners from South Africa. What would it translate to in English?
A book for sugar.
A book for sugar.
Do you know how I got the name of the book?
No.
So I used to have another one that I was using for UK.
Yeah.
That was almost like this, but not really localized.
Yeah.
So when I did this, I used to show people. And then I bought a couple of them, imported them, and then brought them. And then when patients or individuals come back to the office, they used to tell me, wapi ile kitabu cha sukari? Wapi kile kitabu cha sukari?
Kitabu cha sukari.
Yes, that's how I came up with this name.
Kitabu cha sukari, amazing. And I imagine that because we have got now our local foods here, and this is a very good localization of the whole book.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, people of the internet. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. My name is Odur Jegero, and I was with Dr. Daniel Katambo. Please consider subscribing to the channel, leave a comment, and any question that you have. Until another episode, bye for now.